What's up everyone? Welcome back to Let's Play Mega Man X3. So we're starting off with... Oh boy, I almost forgot the boss that we were starting off with. We're going to be starting off with not Volt Catfish, but instead we're going to be starting off with... well, we already know Vile's in the game. We're going to be starting off with Vile. I was going to try to delay that and tease it a little bit. Delay and tease. Oh, my mind's all over the place right now. So I don't know what the point of this long vertical corridor is, because they give you so much health here, and they drop little rocks on you that are just... They don't do any damage. They do like 1 or 2 points of damage, and then like there are 4 or 5 major health items. I guess it might just be to fill your sub-tanks up if you manage to get through the whole corridor without taking any damage, but anyway, we're here at Vile. Vile is a 2-stage fight, and he's also a bit of an idiot. It's a really easy fight, too, which... kind of disappointing. The first phase of the fight is much easier, the second phase, not that much harder, though. So, he has his ride armor back, and it's a nifty new gunmetal gray one, if the SNES could do gunmetal gray. Instead of it's just kind of a poopy dull brown. Poopy dull gray. Oh, why do I have scat on the mind? Maybe it's because this fight is a little bit shit. So, yeah, this is the whole fight. And he doesn't get any new abilities as he gets lower on health. He just gets a new phase once we take his ride armor out. The fight really doesn't have anything on the Vile fight from X1. Even the Vile fight from X1 was pretty easy, come to think of it. This one is not much better. Or, I mean, it's not much harder, if anything. Oh god, my mind's all over the place. So... I'm trying to time my charged attacks here, because, as I always complain about, for some reason I get, like, crazy input delay after firing the fully charged red level. I don't know if it's an input delay, or if it just has, like, really long recovery frames. I guess that has to be it. Whoops, meant to dash right over. It was a little bit too close. It should be the only damage I take in this fight. So yeah, he repeats this pattern back and forth, and it's not really a big deal. The only trick to dealing with that attack is to just stand still for a minute while he's getting ready to charge it, and then you can move up the walls and dash across the floor, do whatever you want, and they won't catch up to you. His little pellets, his really underwhelming bombs. And then he goes straight into that flame pillar attack, which you can just jump and air dash right over. Which, much easier if you actually have the air dash for this fight. Otherwise, you just have to go off the wall, and sometimes you can, you'll get caught by Vile as he jumps to the other side of the room. Not a really big deal, though. Shouldn't struggle that much with that fight. Ooh, I'll take that extra life. And yeah, like Vile was saying at the beginning of the fight, the place is set to blow, his hidden factory hidden across. You can access the stage from Volt Catfish's stage. I want to say... Crush Crawfish, and maybe Gravity Beetle also has one. There are 3 Mavericks, I can't remember which. Now, it's important to note... Ooh, I hate the frame rate slowdown here. Oh, thought I wasn't gonna make it. Luckily, I had the air dash. Now, like I was saying, I've lost my train of thought because I go off on too many tangents. And it just drops you back at the beginning of the stage. The elevator no longer functions once you defeat Vile. Oh yeah, Vile was saying at the beginning of the fight that he's gonna blow the whole factory up with you inside, and he's just gonna delay you and commit to suicide. Not such a good plan. That Vile fight is another, let's call it a variable. If you defeat Vile with his weakness, you destroy him permanently for the rest of the game, and you get an alternate boss fight later on in Doppler's Fortress. If you don't destroy Vile permanently, if you just finish him off with the X-Buster or something like I did, then we're gonna end up refighting him later. It's well, I'm not going to spoil any details of the fight. This is one of my least favorite hearts in the game because, well, you'll see. Okay, I didn't die. I always have issues with that heart because, ooh, that was a little bit close. I always have issues with that heart up there because the screen freezes for a little bit while you pick the heart up and while your maximum health increases. And I'm never quite sure when you're going to come out of that. And you think logically the big solution to that is to just mash the A button or mash the jump button so that you're always jumping up the wall. But sometimes if you're mashing it too much, then you'll just get a series of little jumps and you can wind up in the spikes below. The closest equivalent to that heart back there is the one from Overdrive Ostrich's stage, and the one in this one, the one in X3, is way, way more precarious just because of the way the screen freezes. Because the one in Overdrive Ostrich, once you've started the drift from the hover bike, it's no problem. You're guaranteed to get that heart every time. Or you could just suicide for the heart. Same in X3, same in this stage. But I would prefer not to die any more than I already have, because my shame must not grow any deeper. So what do we have coming up? I'm trying to think if there's anything I miss. I got the capsule. Oh, by the way, that capsule was the armor upgrade. It functions pretty much the same as it does in X1. There's a little additional detail to it. So it reduces the damage you take by 50%, and it also projects that little force field that absorbs a bit of damage, I think. And that force field, I think, becomes active when you take a hit, so it absorbs subsequent shots. Actually not completely positive of how the force field mechanic works, or if the force field is what reduces subsequent attacks done to you by 50% damage. I have to look a little more deeply into that. If any of you guys know the specifics of that mechanic, let me know. So the way you get access to the last item in this stage, the sub-tank, is you have to go up into the ride armor, and then you just drop straight down, and the weight of the ride armor will collapse the floor below. And just like that, the ride armor is gone, and we move about in the rest of the level. With these really annoying enemies. I think there's what? There's one more here. Let me just take care of him before I go over the ledge. Yeah, I think there's two more on the other side. There's one. Is there another one on the floor? There usually is. Yeah, I see your little electrical bolt. Oh, there's more. Luckily, I didn't run straight into it. Oh, you! You! What was I calling them earlier? I think I... Oh, no. I thought there was something over to the right. I didn't look at the wall. I'm so distracted right now. Oh. Messed the air dash up. There we go. Just want to avoid as much damage as possible. I shouldn't take too much damage on the first phase of Crush Crawfish, Volt Catfish. But on the second phase, I've gotten a little bit better at dealing with the second phase of this fight, but I still take a pretty consistent amount of damage. It's not enough that this fight is going to wind up being the death of me, but I would just like to minimize damage just for the sake of my pride. For the sake of looking like a cool guy. Cool guy sitting here let's playing Mega Man X3. Yeah. I think the big tell with this boss, when he's gonna do either the... No. Huh. So I don't know if that's actually a tell or not, but I react to it anyway. Always go up on the wall. The deal with phase 1 of this fight, you just want to always dash under him when he leaps, and he'll either do one of two things. He'll either shoot the Spark Mandrill style electrical bolt up the side of the wall, or he'll shoot the prongs that move, that cling to either side of the wall, and then he'll draw them in, and then shoot them out as electrical bolts of lightning towards the ceiling. You can avoid that second attack just by being up in one of the top corners, but I'm not sure if there's a surefire way to know whether or not that's what he's about to do. I used to think that it was when he opens his mouth, but he doesn't fire an electrical bolt immediately. But there can be a delay between him opening his mouth after the jump and using either of his 2 attacks, so I'm not sure how to tell for sure. And then my obvious shortcoming with this phase of the fight is that sometimes I get a little bit of favorable pattern here where he's shooting sparks all over both sides of the screen, and then sometimes he will just stop shooting towards the right side of the screen for a bit, and that gives me enough time to climb up the wall and wait out his charge attack towards me. Sometimes I get caught by a spark though, and sometimes if I don't see a clearing on the wall where the sparks are shooting towards, I wind up just taking the charge attack, and that's fine. Because he can't do enough damage to me to actually kill. And that's Volt Catfish out of the way. Next up, let's see, which 2 do we have left? We have Toxic Seahorse, and Crush Crawfish. And then it's on to the Doppler stage after this episode. So which one do I want to do next? Do I need anything from Toxic Seahorse to do the rest? Or I mean to do Crush Crawfish? I don't think so. I guess I'll do Seahorse next, because I don't need anything from Crush Crawfish either. Now, Toxic Seahorse is a fight that's a little bit like Gravity Beetle, that I don't have the most confidence. Now, Toxic Seahorse is a fight that's a little bit like Gravity Beetle, in that I don't have the most confidence fighting him. I can get through the first phase of him, no problem. I shouldn't take any damage in that phase, just like Volt Catfish. But that second phase can be really, really rough. So I might, if I go in there and things aren't going well, I might just do a little practice run that I cut out. Yeah, because unfortunately, that is not one of the bosses that I've done a dry run of, so I have another one that I haven't fought in a super long time. My well of excuses does not run dry ever. That is an endless well. A font of excuses, if you will. Ooh, let's get that. Yeah. I always forget that that's there. Why am I holding on to this charge? Oh, well, it's completely pointless to hold on to it. And complete overkill on the little bomber enemy. Oh, you. That's the heart down. This is going to be the first and only level that I actually show off the was it the frog ride armor? And this is also going to be, I think, the level that I pick up the kangaroo ride armor. Can't remember which one. Oh, I got a little case of the hiccups. Nothing through that door. I thought I would have been fighting Byte right there, but yeah, I guess I'm gonna have to fight Byte in Toxic Sea. No, gonna have to fight Byte in Crush Crawfish's stage. So this is the frog ride armor. It's terrible. I'll never use it again, and I'm gonna abandon it very shortly. I don't actually need to use the ride armor here. I don't need it to use I don't need to use it to get any of the items. But there is something that I just want to show it off because why not? And I'll try to show at least briefly all the other ride armors, the other two that I haven't shown yet. I've shown the normal one and then the Chimera one, I should say, and then this one. It's really a shame that this is such an immobile, slow, annoying ride armor to use because it has a really, really cool attack. It's this rapid-fire homing missile attack, and I just want to use the frog ride armor right up until that point so I could disable the fans. It's possible to get the armor pieces up here, or I mean the kangaroo ride armor and the enhancement chip without using the frog ride armor. You do need the charged up frost shield. That's what that enhancement chip is. You do need the charged up frost shield to get up here, but you don't actually need to destroy the fans, especially because you can use that little water hop glitch that is carried over from X1 and X2, where you hop on top of the water and walk across like Jesus! Like Jesus! I went a little less a little less preacher there and a little more weird anime character. So one of the items you can get here is on the far right side, and then this one is on the far left side. Now, if you go up here, yes, that is the angle I wanted. If you go up and you charge it up and use it from the right side of the ramp on the very edge leading towards the pit, you'll just barely come up to the ledge and you won't have to do any weird water hopping or any particularly difficult dashing. So it's just a matter of positioning if you don't want to have to use the walk-on water glitch. This is a pretty good name for it. Here is the saddest, most pathetic mini-boss in the history of mini-bosses. You ready for this? And he's dead. We'll all miss you, Squid Man. We'll all miss you, you poor robotic cephalopod. Nobody will miss him. I just wanted him to die with the comforting notion that he had friends in this world. Oh, and I couldn't get back to get the weapon energy because I ended the fight right next to the gate. That's a shame. I guess that's Mr. Robotic Cephalopod's last fuck you to me. That name sounds like what they would have named one of the X-bosses. Like a rejected name. Robot Cephalopod. Or Metal Cephalopod. Actually, there's is it an X5 or an X6 boss called Metal Shark Player? Or at least the English name is Metal Shark Player. We should be right near the gate, right? Oh, spike trap. Always forgetting where the spike traps are in this one. That's fine. I think I got... Did I? I don't know. I'm thinking of what traps I've fallen into in Dark Souls so far. By the way, weird time to plug this stuff, but be sure to check out my other Let's Plays in addition to this one, like the X1 and X2 playthroughs, and the Dark Souls, and the LA Noirs, and the Limbos, and the Bayonettas, and all that good stuff. Okay, yeah, this is going off to a bad start. Oh, this is going off to a terrible start. I'm gonna use this attempt as a little practice run and just try to dodge stuff, so I will see you, I guess, in the real attempt? Just 1 second. Okay. So, what I'm learning is that Phase 1, it only took me like a moment or two to adapt to. Phase 2, I still have no confidence with, so let's see if I can make it through Phase 1 without taking any damage, and then at least try to minimize how much I suck at the second phase. The second phase, by the way, is really, really tricky. Oh, I wish I had practiced this game a little bit more before I did the Let's Play. Oh well. Pretty much all I did was look up where the item locations were and then do like a few, not even all of the boss dry runs, but just a couple. Oh man. Wish I hadn't gotten hit twice by the bouncy ball. This is his phase 2, which is, unlike a lot of the bosses, way harder than the first phase. Doing well so far. Oh, I'm gonna get hit when he jumps. Oh, good shit, Dave. I don't know why I talk to myself so often. Probably because there's no one else in the room for these. Exposing odd psychological quirks here. Man, why do I feel so weird today? The thing that makes this such a pain is not only that I take so much damage from those bouncing toxic goo balls, but I'm also so focused on trying to avoid them that I don't actually fire at the boss, and it just prolongs things. It prolongs the suffering. So the ball just bounces back and forth, which if you have distance on him isn't so bad. You can just dash to the right and to the left and to the right and to the left, and you keep going until the ball disappears. But when Toxic Seahorse starts jumping at you while you're avoiding the ball in that pattern, you have to slightly alter where you're dashing towards or the distance you're dashing in order to not run into him. And that creates a little bit of chaos that's really difficult to manage. It's a fun fight, though. Actually, a lot of the fights in this game are pretty fun. Crush Crawfish is one of those hit or miss boss fights. Tunnel Rhino should... I should be able to say that about Tunnel Rhino, but I had a really terrible fight. You know what? Fuck it. Tunnel Rhino, not that big of a deal. I screwed up on him a bit, but not terribly interesting or difficult fight. It's just one that will kind of punish subpar reactions. So you need the charged up Triad Thunder from Volt Catfish in order to get that, which is the last ride armor. I just showed off the kangaroo armor, by the way. It's not that special. You would think that it would have crazy high jumping ability or something, but it doesn't seem like it jumps that much higher than the normal Chimera armor. This one that we just got, on the other hand, the Hawk armor, seems to jump much higher, plus it has that jetpack in it, which lets it hover and gain a little extra altitude, which is fucking sweet. Plus it has these missile guns. So overall, Hawk armor is by far the best armor. You just need the charged up Triad Thunder to get it, which means you can't get it early in the game, unfortunately. And then we're also going to be abandoning the Hawk armor pretty early. Oh no, I didn't mean to jump into that! Oh, I hope this doesn't screw things up. No, because I should be able to not get this, and Dr. Light is telling me about how this is my... Dr. Light here is telling me that I can turn back now, so I should be good. That shouldn't be able to screw up my that shouldn't screw up my ability to get the golden armor, and this is where I should be fighting Byte, who is way, way, way less interesting than Bit. And hopefully I can say that this time without immediately being undermined by poor performance. His only real attack is this. It's just this over and over again. And you just want to slightly delay the upward air dodge. This fight gets a lot more interesting without the air dash. Because if you hang around on the wall, you'll notice that there's a special effect that him shooting his fist at the wall elicits. The fist pulls you down off the wall. Ooh, and this is what happens if you do not dodge that. And he's gonna knock me into the wall. You take a bunch of hits there. The last two are, I think, 1 or 2 damage each, so it's not that bad. The first hit, though, is the one that does a lot of damage. And he just keeps winding up. But yeah, if you time the dodge properly, this fight is not that difficult. Or the air dash, I should say. I always want to call everything that moves me out of the way a dodge roll or something. Gotten too used to the modern games with their fancy invincibility frame having dodge rolls. These enemies are pretty cool. Because a lot like the way Surgus worked, the first Surgus fight in X2, these guys trigger one of their behaviors when you fire, or when you hit the button to fire. So you always want to hit those guys with charged attacks, or you can just avoid them altogether, because it takes them a very, very long time. Oh, why can't I hit him? Why? Oh, there we go. The enemies I was just talking about take a very long time before they will attack you of their own accord. They usually just react to what you do. I can't kill this guy. I'm using all this energy, all this weapon energy on Frost Shield. I guess it's just not doing the trick from behind. Guess you can't just shove icicles up robots' asses and expect it to work. Oh, I'm trying to think. Have I gotten everything? I was kind of only half paying attention. Yeah, I got everything in the stage so far. Those 2 extra lives. You might be able to get that by destroying the wall with charged up Triad Thunder, or you might need to use... Oh, you probably need to get them with a gravity well. I wish I would have thought of that sooner. Oh right, you gotta climb up. The room kind of rotates a bit. Now we're going upwards, upwards, and outwards. We're gonna fight. Man, why do I want to call every boss Toxic Seahorse today? We're gonna fight Crush Crawfish, who is another kind of boring boss fight. He takes place in a phone booth-sized room, though, if I remember. Nah, that looks mostly pretty normal. He's kind of a big model, though. And he doesn't really do that many interesting things. He'll charge at you in this phase. He'll shoot his claw at your last position. after he fires out 2 of these, they look like quick-moving pairs of rubber bands. And what the rubber bands do is they just drag you off the wall so he can charge into you, or so he can predict where you're going to be for his attack. But they don't have an instant and complete effect, so you won't just plummet straight to the ground as soon as they hook their little rubber bands around you. As soon as he hooks his little rubber bands around you. And yeah, you can manipulate his AI both unintentionally and pretty easily. Let's see. And then in the second phase, he just starts... There we go. I was hoping he would do that. He just starts doing that. He does a very quick backdash that does a lot of damage. If he dashes into you and he catches you with his pincers, he will start doing a series of very rapid, about 2 or 3 damage hits to you, and he won't let go for a very long time, so you wind up incurring tons and tons and tons of damage. But other than that, you can sometimes get caught off guard by how quick that backdash comes out, and that'll do a lot of damage in and of itself, but for the most part, not a terribly interesting fight. Not a lot going on, not a lot to learn. And now I believe we have a cutscene with Dr. Doppler. I'll have to see if there's an animated version of this one too from the PSX version. Or the 32-bit version, I should say. So what's up, Dr. Doppler? Oh yeah, we had tons of problems. Are you fucking joking? Do you not monitor us when you send us out into the field? What kind of shit is this? You're a terrible mentor. No, I'm sorry, Dr. Doppler. Don't disassemble me. Don't weld me to the wall. To the window. To the window. To the wall. Till the sweat drops down your bolts. Okay, that's very interesting. Of course it's Sigma! Come on, X, you haven't learned the script by now? We haven't done like an 11th hour twist here. It's not like Sigma's not gonna be coming back. Did we just drop that facade already? Every time you get sent out on a mission, there are 8 Mavericks, there are 4 mysterious new antagonist stages, and then there's Sigma waiting for you at the very end. You have not learned this by yet? We play the dumbest protagonist in the history of video games, and it was just sitting right there. Dr. Doppler's gigantic hidden base was just buried underground. I love it. Thank you guys for watching. Take it easy. Have a good one.